Hey, what's up? I had an epiphany about how we evaluate post-training for LLMs, things like supervised fine-tuning and reinforcement learning from human feedback. There's a recurring theme in Chip Huon's AI engineering book, which I'm reading for Rotational's AI Summer Book Club, that fine-tuning is not all it's cracked up to be. So I wanted to dive into why that is, and why it is that Chip Huon is skeptical about the efficacy of fine tuning. So before we can dive into that, I want to explain the cross entropy formula. The cross entropy formula lets us know how closely a model's inferences Q match the true distribution of the data P. So we compute cross entropy as a function of two things. First, the entropy of P, aka H of P, which is basically how nuanced is your language or domain. And the second thing is the KL divergence. KL stands for Kullback-Leibler, which is the name of the scientists who invented it. So the KL divergence of P with respect to Q is a measure of basically how mediocre the model is at the domain. During fine-tuning, we train the model on a curated data set. Usually in industry, what this looks like is that the customer has a big bank of documents, their own wiki, and the goal is to fine-tune an existing language model on those documents so that we can alter the data distribution P into P prime. Hopefully P prime is a closer representation of the customer's domain. So with reward modeling, specifically reinforcement learning from human feedback, we adjust the model based on human preferences, which shifts the model's output distribution Q. So that means when we do post-training, H of P and KL divergence of P given Q are no longer aligned with the original pre-training objectives. So here's the epiphany. Because Perplexity assumes a fixed P and aims to measure how well Q approximates it, it's by definition not well suited for measuring the efficacy of post-training. If you are using Perplexity or cross entropy to measure the efficacy of your supervised fine-tuning or your reinforcement learning from human feedback, you should know that lower Perplexity doesn't mean better alignment with human preferences once you've done post-training. All this to say, if you want to know if your post-training is actually moving the needle and making your model better and better for your customer, you have to invent your own metrics. And it sounds like the jury is kind of out on whether or not post-training is a good idea.